Last week, a contractor from outside of my state of Minnesota started recruiting poll watchers with special forces experience to protect polling locations in my state. This was clear voter intimidation. Similar efforts are going on around the country, solicited by President Trump's false claims of massive voter fraud, something that, by the way, many Republican leaders, including Michael Steele, the former head of the Republican Party, including Tom Ridge, including Governor Kasich, including sitting Senator Romney, have made very clear is not true. So as a result of his claims, people are trying to get poll watchers, special forces people, to go to the polls. Judge Barrett, under federal law, is it illegal to intimidate voters at the polls?
Senator Klobuchar, I can't characterize the facts in a hypothetical situation, and I can't apply the law to a hypothetical set of facts. I can only decide cases as they come to me, litigated by parties on a full record after fully engaging precedent, talking to colleagues, writing an opinion. And so I can't answer questions like that.
Okay, well, I'll make it easier. 18 U.S.C. 594 outlaws anyone who intimidates, threatens, coerces, or attempts to intimidate, threaten, or coerce any other person for the purpose of interfering with the right of such other person to vote. This is a law that has been on the books for decades. Do you think
that was Amy Coney Barrett earlier today, dodging one of the simplest questions a Supreme Court nominee could get? Is it legal or illegal to intimidate voters? There's a clear law. Klobuchar read it out. It is illegal to intimidate voters. That's what Donald Trump is doing. He's intimidating voters, or his people are doing it on his behalf. And Amy Coney Barrett is unwilling to say that. She's unwilling to say that voter intimidation, which is illegal, is indeed illegal. And she did something similar earlier today when she was asked if she believed Donald Trump had the unilateral right to postpone or otherwise modify the election, and she wouldn't answer, even though clearly the power to do so rests not with the president, but with the Congress. I'm going to play you that clip as well.
July 30th, 2020, President Trump made claims of voter fraud and suggested he wanted to delay the upcoming election. Does the Constitution give the President of the United States the authority to unilaterally delay a general election under any circumstances? Does federal law?
Well, Senator, if that question ever came before me, I would need to hear arguments from the litigants and read briefs and consult with my law clerks and talk to my colleagues and go through the opinion writing process. So, if I give off-the-cuff answers, then I would be basically a legal pundit. And I don't think we want judges to be legal pundits. I think we want judges to approach cases thoughtfully and with an open mind.
So these are two basic questions dealing with the fundamentals of democracy. How elections happen, when they happen, can people freely and comfortably cast a vote regardless of who they are and how they plan to vote? And the U.S. system isn't perfect. I don't want to suggest that the laws as they are in the United States actually give everyone a clean right to vote. Because if you're poor, or if you're young, or if you're racialized, you often have various barriers to being able to freely vote how you want, where you want, when you want, what have you. I'm acknowledging that. But even within the law, Trump is basically trying to make moves to violate it. And the fact that Amy Coney Barrett is unwilling to say that, yes, if these things are done, they are indeed illegal because the law is clear and the law as written is clear, what that tells me is that she can't be trusted to uphold that law, those laws, if they come forward to the Supreme Court, and she's one of the 9 people on that court. She can't be trusted. Because here's the deal. We know this. I've mentioned this so many times on this channel. Donald Trump has one plan above all, knowing that he's likely going to lose the election if it's fair and if everyone gets to vote. One of those plans is to have mail-in votes not counted, to basically say that The only votes that matter are the ones in on election night. Mail-in votes that are counted later don't count. They're all fake. They're all fraudulent. Only the people that voted at the polls traditionally get to count, even though we know that most of those people are going to be Trump voters. And so an early lead might evaporate once all the mail-in votes are counted. And if he wants to do that, if he's going to try to do that, his only hope is to have somebody on the Supreme Court that's willing to basically say, yes, the president can decide that certain ballots don't count, or the president's cronies can decide, and we as the Supreme Court are going to validate that. And also, one of his other efforts is going to be either before, during, or after the election to basically use the Proud Boys and other groups that he's put on standby to quote-unquote guard the polls, protect democracy, ensure the sanctity of the ballots, when all that is going to be intimidating people that are typical Democratic voters. And you know what that means. Overwhelmingly, Trump's, militant white base is going to go to places and stop black people and other racialized people from voting, or scare them into not voting, or intimidate them away from the polls, or intimidate them away from casting their franchise, however. And what Trump needs is a judge to basically look the other way while he does it. Now, to be clear, Coney Barrett hasn't explicitly said that this would be legal, but the fact that she's unwilling to take a stand right now and say voter intimidation is illegal and the president does not have the right to unilaterally change the election should scare people. She is going to be a willing pawn in the theft of your ballot.